Right. Well, how about that? Good day to ya. Coming to you live from the spiritual Super Bowl. Wow. Can you believe what's going on the planet right now? It's an amazing time. The Great Awakening, man. I don't know about you, but I think a lot of folks are waking up. So I'm super excited to be here today. I hope you guys are doing great. I'm looking forward to possibly chatting with you today. I have a couple fun things to share, and the stream's gonna probably only be about 15, maybe 30 minutes. We'll see how it goes. I have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about that's going on in the world right now. A couple of big high profile situations. And then I'm also going to kind of talk about some interviews that I'm going to be doing. So plan on the next few Fridays, actually every Friday, I'm planning to have an interview. This last Friday interview got bumped until December 24th, but that'll be an exciting interview. So I'll talk about that at the end. And go ahead and grab yourself a cup of tea or, I don't know, a mug of juice, whatever tickles your fancy. Hear my puppy dogs in the background? Anyway, so I got my, oh man, I got to get those puppies. Hold on a second. We'll see if they come up. We'll see what's going on. So if you haven't already spotted, this book seems to be sticking out there. I think that's an important piece to the puzzle to be aware of what the agenda has been. But again, I'm totally optimistic. And I know that right now, some of this is like some serious birthing pains, but it is going to end in a positive outcome. And it's up to us to perceive that. Like, we get a choice, which timeline do you want to choose? And so for those of you that have been on the twin flame journey and you followed me from that, hopefully you've grounded yourself enough to recognize and know that this is an inside job. For those of you that are both twin flame patriots and purebloods, God bless you. For those that are not purebloods anymore, all I think we can do, the main thing is pray for them. And I look forward to my interview with the scalar guy, the scalar energy guy, because I'm kind of hoping that maybe that will be one of the solutions to the apple juice, that bad apple juice that people have gotten. I just keep seeing more and more cases of people seriously harmed by that apple juice. So if you want some information, some links, I would highly recommend, obviously you have to go to other platforms. I just had one of my videos taken down, and it was actually from the bioanalyst from Pfizer, who was literally just citing the case studies that are on the Moderna website. So it's factual information, but it got taken down because it was a community violation, because it might be harmful for people to know the truth. So isn't it interesting that we're in a time and for us to actually have to question everything? And that actually brings me to some of the more recent things that we have seen happening in the news. And, you know, it's kind of like this movie that just keeps playing out. And, you know, many have said, grab your popcorn, right? But I do think, yeah, I mean, that's part of what this Great Awakening is is to be more critical, not only in your thought, but also in your heart. And from a spiritual perspective, again, for those of you that have been on the journey, you know that it's not just a consciousness thing, it's also a heart thing, and your heart and mind coherence is actually a very important piece to the puzzle. As a matter of fact, one of the authors that I'll be interviewing a couple Fridays from now talks about, that's what his book is about, is the heart mind coherence revolution. And it's something that I talk about a lot, that, okay, it's great to be a critical thinker, but it's also important to be connected to your heart, because our sixth sense is something that they've been trying to squash in us for so long. And, you know, in my generation, I think it was probably a little more acceptable. But previous generations, like, they thought they were witches and, you know, burned them at the stake. So anyway, it's an inside job. I always say that it's an inside job. And I just think that we need to be reminded that all of these distractions, all of us thinking, well, we have to be warriors and we have to take down you know, these folks. Well, I think when I say God always wins, love prevails. And at the end of the day, like, humanism is way more powerful than transhumanism, which is what that apple juice is all about. So anyway, I digress, I guess. Anyway, so let me get to a couple quick stories, and then I'll give you the agenda coming up here. Again, I hope you're doing just amazing. I hope, if anything, that if you catch some of this today, that it inspires you to connect to who you really are. It's one thing to chase these stories and to start questioning the media. Like I said, this is the Great Awakening, and some people think it's sad that we have to question these stories, but it's actually a really big positive, because as we question and we tune into our own internal guidance, our intuition will tell us what's actually going on. And in the Bible, again, I always cite this, the kingdom of heaven is within. God is within us. And I mean, obviously, God is omnipresent everywhere, and, you know, but ultimately, if we don't stop and listen to God within us, then we're actually missing out. So that's part of this, the big part of this evolution. So enough of that, enough said. So I didn't tell you what was in my coffee, but I whip up almond milk with collagen, and I'm not selling this stuff. I know a lot of people do, but man, it is yummy. And I have people tell me that my skin is pretty smooth for my age. I'm almost hitting the big leagues now. I'm all grown up now. So it seems to be doing me well. Anyway, it's my yummy. So I hope that next time you join me, you'll join me with your own cup of luscious yumminess, whatever that is. All right, so there's that. And so the first big story, as you guys, I mean, you can't get away from it, is the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. And man, that was a huge win, right? That was a huge win for us Patriots, for as much as the light workers, we'd like to just stay in the peace and all of that. You know, it is important to know that we are sovereign beings and nobody can harm us, while at the same time we should have rights to defend ourselves. And that's how, as we already know, some of these other countries have lost their any control, because the government, as we know already, Australia took away their guns. And you know, I think that the story that they're presenting in Australia is also propaganda. I really don't believe that many of their people are actually vaxxed. Oops, I'm not allowed to say that, am I? Have the apple juice. Hey, look, I got, I got striked out on my channel for having a actual bioanalyst analyzing data that's on the Moderna website. So, what can I tell you? We're in a fun time. But the golden key, which is God, love, always prevails. So regarding the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, part of the propaganda was to distort this as this was some sort of hate crime. And you've probably heard this narrative, that they wanted business owners to let their people stay home for the day. And there's already been shattering of windows and destruction already happening. And so I'm not really want to go down that dark tunnel, but just being aware that this is demonic stuff. And so the next story that really leads into it, and some people don't know if it's really connected or not, but there's definitely an energy around why that run over last night happened. Man, my puppy dogs are going for it, aren't they? I don't know. I might have to start over, man. My dogs are all fired up too. I don't know. There must be some good energy going on today. Anyway, so I want to talk about so we know the repercussions of that. So it was a huge win for us regarding Kyle. But we also know that be prepared for what might play out, because these little demonic forces are going to come out. And one great example, sad but true example, is this this guy. Let's see if I can share this properly. Let's see, where is he? There he is. There he is. There's the demon. His name is Daryl Brooks, the Christmas massacre guy. And there you go. I don't know if you can see those little symbols going on there with his fingers, and then he's all about that. So his stage name is Math Boy Fly. And again, let me show you. That guy, he's a little demon. He's a demon. So it's out there. And again, I'm just bringing your awareness to it that this sort of stuff is going down. And so what can we do about it? One other thing about him, though, I do want to mention is, sorry, all right, well, maybe I took it off. I was reading an article about the guy. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you can see that, but in this article about this guy, here are his lyrics. One of his songs, X, has the lyrics, F Donald Trump and F the pigs. Well, do you think it was a coincidence that he just happened to I know, I'm like, I'm usually pretty good with technology, but please forgive me. I'm still trying to get this thing under control. Anyway, so so last night I guess Donald Trump was supposed to be speaking on Fox News, and it was supposed to be this big deal, this interview, but I guess he was just promoting a book. I don't know. Maybe you guys can fill me in on that too, because I was kind of curious if that was the only reason. So if you know what else that interview was about, let me know. But the timing was like no coincidence that this demon who says F Donald Trump just happens to do this very disgusting massacre where, at least as of right now, the last report that I saw, 5 people were deceased and 40 were injured. So I'm not making light of this. I think it is really unfortunate. And last night I saw a few folks on Telegram talking about, well, is this a false flag? And they didn't know whether to pray or what. And so in a way it's kind of sad, right? Because we don't know if it was just a distraction. But on a positive note, again, I go back to the idea that the fact that we're questioning everything now is actually a really good sign, because it's time to start using our critical thinking skills more, which if you're hanging out with me, you're part of the team, and you're probably a pureblood. So yeah. Anyway, so I hope that you guys will join me or chat with me or something, because I'm just laughing at my own comedy here. All right, so onward and upward. It's really unfortunate, and I do pray and send out love to the families. And it is unfortunate that this was a distraction from the interview with Trump, and it is part of the evilness that is going to be surfacing here for a while. I actually suspect it's going to continue. So what can you do is stay centered, stay focused, stay in the love. If you at all ever feel like you're being pulled off by this, remember, you only feel, or you only experience what you feel. So if you feel sadness, anger, frustration, you're going to, of course, attract more of that, and you're going to experience that. So it is your duty and obligation as a patriot, as a light worker, as a pureblood, to maintain your mental and emotional wellness and stay in the light, stay in joy, stay in inspiration, follow what you're guided to do, because right now many of us are being called to step forward, whether it is to speak out, whether it is to go to your school boards and take action, but follow that internal guidance, and recognize that anything that's going on outside of you, the things that you're observing and the way that you observe it actually has to do with what's going on within you. So if you're observing hatred, anger, frustration, and you're feeling that you're observing a part of you and something, your shadow self. And so we're now seeing the shadow presenting itself and now transforming. And so one way to look at all of this is, when we do our inner work, it's not always pretty. Sometimes we have to get real with some of our traumas, and in order to heal and transform it. And that's what's happening on a global level right now. So some of these things that we're seeing, rather than thinking about it like, oh my God, this is the end of the world, which, out of Book of Revelations, I think we're definitely seeing the end. But remember, from the end comes a new beginning. So so understand that what we're seeing right now is all the ickiness and traumas, emotional trauma, drama. It's all surfacing to be seen, to be brought to the light. And it's now time for us to actually transform it and heal it. So this is actually a really huge positive. And I found myself getting a little bit down about all of this, and I'm now like kind of coming out the other side. And so I'm sharing this with you with the hopes that maybe it will inspire you as well, to look at it from this new perspective. Remember that, Gandhi always said, be the change you want to see in the world. And if we're externally going out and fighting it and blaming others and saying, yeah, but these are demons, and, yeah, okay, we can blame them and that's all fine and good, but everything outside of us is a projection of ourselves. And so how evolved do you have to be to get to the point where you can love these God's creations regardless, and not sink into the fear and hold on to the light and connected to yourself? On a micro level, one of the things that we can think about, or we can see, is, we have like a certain kind of sunglasses, and if we've had traumatic things happen to us in this lifetime, possibly in other lifetimes, and we assume that we can't trust others, for example. Well, if you can't trust others, first off, always ask, well, is it because I can't trust myself? Because if your trust and your confidence and your security is so grounded, then what other people do will not affect you, number one. But if you're wearing the lens of a lack of trust, whether the outside person does something that is not trustworthy or not, you will create a situation based on your lenses that will create that. So if you're wearing, rose-colored glasses, you could say all day long that, I guess this is white, this is white, this is white. But if you're wearing rose-colored glasses, it's going to look pink, right? So that's actually opaque, so it does actually have a little pink in it. So it's that kind of a concept that depending on what kind of lens you're wearing. So you have to heal that. And so this is happening worldwide, that this is an opportunity for all of us to heal this. And if you saw my interview with the yogi, he was actually talking about that this is, bottom line, it's whatever's going on within you. Whatever's going on outside is a distraction. So yeah, this is a call for not just time for us to step up. We came here for this time, but it's also a call to take a deeper look within yourself and figure out, is it really the world? Is it really this other person that's not doing or conforming to what you expect them to do? Are you also then one of the culprits of control? If somebody's not acting the way you want or expecting, rather than meeting that with love, disengaging from them or being hateful towards that is just an act of control. And that's part of what we're seeing on a worldwide scale right now, right? Is this interesting, which, by the way, I don't think they're winning. It's already kind of game's over, but we're just watching the echo of the past. I don't know if that made sense, but yes, the echo of the past. But that's what we were seeing, is these, these people that are mentioned here, that truly have an evil intent and a control agenda. And, I would like a new perspective on this, but sadly, I mean, it's not a secret that they're connecting people into the network, and that's kind of been the objective. And if you do a little research on that, you probably already know all of what's going down on that. So, all right. So I'm kind of just rambling. Like, if anybody's there, like, drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this massacre. And again, my prayers go out to anyone that was involved, any family members, and a rapid healing for those that may have been hurt. And I'm going to share a quote that I thought was super awesome, and then a little bit about the programs that I have coming up. So hopefully you see this part of my screen. This is Tom Palladino, who I'm going to be interviewing not until December 24th, but 9 o'clock. He was supposed to be with me last Friday. Anyway, his light scalar energy is everywhere and in the universe, and it transcends time and space. December 24th at 9 o'clock. He actually does remote work with the scalar light with your photo. So I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit more about that. And I'm actually kind of hoping that maybe we'll find out that this is possibly a way to get some of these heebie-jeebies out of you from the apple juice that some people have taken 2 doses of, and some are getting ready for 3. By the way, did you see that they're actually encouraging people to get their 4th now too? Like, I mean, what are we gonna be on, like 23, dose 23 of the apple juice? Like, I don't know how anybody will be left standing, but then again, I don't think that's their goal, right? Anyway, so the scalar light we'll be talking about will be kind of cool stuff. While I'm at it though, let's look at the Georgia guidestones. You probably already know about these, but if you don't, connecting some of the pieces here. Fun. Where is it? Oh, lovely. Google's not letting it come through. Isn't that interesting? Huh. Well then, how about that? What is going on? Wow, Google's just shutting it down, aren't they? The Georgia Guidestones and the 10 Commandments of the Coming Antichrist. In 1980, a very strange stone formation was erected in Georgia. So if you don't know about this, definitely do a little research. It's fascinating. In fact, there's a documentary from the History Channel about it, that they want to maintain humanity under 500 million, so $500 million in perpetual balance with nature. So that's interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Be not a Cancer on earth, leave room for nature, leave room for nature. Okay. All right then. Okay, I'm gonna stop the share. So there's that. I would think that you probably already know about that, but there you have it. That's interesting stuff. And again, I want to share the quote. So this is actually a book by David Icke, who keeps getting bumped off of YouTube too. And I love this quote, though, that I just read in his book from 1999. There are many who will dub me a nut for what I have written in this book. My reply is, today's mighty oak is just yesterday's nut that held its ground. I'm going to read that again. Today's mighty oak is just yesterday's nut that held its ground. Frickin' man, right? I love that. So how many of you have been considered by your family members, truth telling, being considered a little bit of a nut? And I commend you for holding the line and being a truth teller. All right, so this coming Friday, 10 o'clock from 10 to 11, I have a interview for Divine Genius. So let's see, who is that interview with? That is going to be with Adam Hall. So Adam Hall is an author of a book called Divine Genius, the Unlearning Curve, excuse me. And then I'm also going to do, probably not live, but I'm going to do, oh, didn't mean to share myself. The Golden Key by Emmett Fox. And I just love this because it's so powerful, and it's actually worked so many, like literally miracles in my life. And I'll share with you just really easy, quick tool. If you do find yourself in fear or frustration, or, you know, looking at this whole metaverse thing going, oh my God, they want to incubate us like the Matrix. Yeah. So, yes, I do believe that that's an interesting concept, isn't it? So it's all good though, because if you actually follow Dolores Cannon's work, she did these really amazing past life regressions. I actually did the first level of certification, QHHT. It's a technique that takes several hours, that doesn't just take people into a past life regression. I, in fact, ended up in a future life, which was pretty fascinating. And I also was brought to a place that was an in-between state, and it was so powerful, it made me cry, because I discovered who I really am beyond obviously the physical body. And it was so amazing. But anyway, if you follow Dolores Cannon's work, she did these past life sort of regression, quantum healings. And she had a multitude of people that actually would go into this future lifetime where they were talking about what's happening right now, that there would be a split in the worlds, and that there would be many people left behind, and that those of us that were evolving and spiritually growing would be going to basically what is kind of a utopia. Some people talk about it as 5D, and 5D can exist here in this dense third dimension density that we're in, simply by connecting yourself to God and the higher, and disconnecting from that matrix. So the tool that I was going to share from the Golden Key, and I'll go more in depth on the Golden Key another time, is just simply to do that. If you catch yourself in fear, you've got, he talks about like a lawsuit going, or something that's happening, maybe a situation with a lover that didn't go the way you had hoped. If you just connect to God and say the word God, if you're quiet and tuned in, you'll immediately find your center and your balance. So when people say that they have anger issues or things like that, no, you don't. It's a choice. Like, it's just like saying, well, I'm fat. Well, no, you're not. I mean, that's a choice too. Like, you can be fat in the moment, but you can choose to eliminate certain foods. You can choose to get exercise. You can visualize yourself as a more healthy, fit being, same thing. Same concept is we can be angry, we can be frustrated, we can get triggered, but we can choose to use our spiritual muscles to connect to God or connect to the light, connect to love. Because when we're responding from a place that's not love, we're responding from our egos. And now you're playing out the matrix, you're playing out this drama that isn't the truth. And on a soul level, it's a very different story and different connections. So this is the Super Bowl, guys, and there's no more time to play around with or to make excuses. It's time to really stand in our power, line up with our spiritual, soulful selves, connect to God, source, however you feel comfortable saying it, and blessings, total blessings. So that's it. I hope that you have an amazing, beautiful day. And oh, I can't leave yet. I gotta say hello to Careful Carpenter. Yeah, that's awesome. Your son admitted to you that you're not a crazy man. So did he finally see the light? Is that what happened? I thought that was a great quote, right? Like, I don't care. I think what you will, think what you want. I do find it sad sometimes that I don't care about if somebody thinks I'm crazy, because, you know, I definitely got a little silly going. Anyway, well, it's good to see you, Careful Carpenter. I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you have an amazing day. I will be back on Friday with my interview for Divine Genius and Unlearning, and the Unlearning Curve. So I hope you'll come back and share any questions that you might have. And that's it, folks. I'm sending love. There you have it. Love, love. All right. Have an amazing day.